82, we met at work. We both worked in the same hospital, and after about 6 months there, we started dating. And we dated for 2 years, and we got married in 84, the end of 84, down here in Atlantic County in Longport, and moved to Summers Point. I had Dina, who's 22, had her in July of 86, and I had C in March of 88, so you're not quite 2 years apart. I would say probably around 1990, 91. I was disappointed in marriage, what it was about. I shouldn't say in marriage, I was disappointed in my marriage. You know, when I met your father, he was going to school, and he, aspired to do many things. And after we were married, he would quit everything he attempted doing. Always had an excuse. The kids, or because I was working, he didn't have time to concentrate, for whatever reason. He had his reasons always to stop in the middle of a class, or never seemed to be able to pursue something from start to finish. And it was very disillusioning because, I had to carry the full weight of the family. I had to be the breadwinner when I thought, in all actuality, when I got married, by 6 years after we were married, he would then become the breadwinner, and I could lay back and raise my children and work part-time, and instead I always had to work full-time and sometimes a second job in order to make ends meet. We're officially or legally divorced in October of 99. The whole process took less than a year. Unfortunately, we had discussed divorce and hoped it could be an amicable divorce, but when in all actuality I did leave your father, he was not happy. He I guess thought I wasn't really ever going to leave, but when I actually did, he kind of lost it. Divorce I don't think is ever good for children. However, I thought it was better for you guys to be with each of us on our own than to hear us together fighting all the time. It frightened you as children. I mean, the last thing you want to hear are your parents yelling and screaming at each other, because you automatically think, oh, my parents are going to get divorced.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it actually happens, you say, oh my gosh, I was right. Now every time, I fight with somebody, are they going to leave me? Kind of thing. And it made you sad, and who wants that for their children? I don't want you going to school sad in the morning, and I didn't want you coming home sad in the afternoon. Even though it wasn't an easy decision, and it wasn't easy on you guys, I mean, I thought that in the beginning, of course, you were very adversely affected. You guys, would often, be sad, or I think you were more scared than anything, thinking that, if something were to happen to me or to your father, or, who would you have? And your lives resumed pretty normally, except for, the visitation sometimes was difficult with your dad, because he moved away about 20 minutes, and you guys didn't like going there, and so we cut out the 1 weeknight that you went there, and then you just went every other weekend, even though you weren't happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
I certainly was always overprotective when I was married and when I wasn't, which you guys could also play on as well. But I think it made your sister a little more mature, where it made you not immature. You just worried more than you needed to worry. As much as I tried to reassure you, in your head, you felt you needed to worry about things. When you're a parent of two children that are underage, that have many needs, as any child would, you have to meet those needs. And you guys became my priority, number one priority, that everything I did had to be in your best interest. I had to make sure you had all the opportunities that were available to you. So, I always worked. I worked 2 jobs. Sometimes I worked 3 jobs. I needed to know that I could afford to keep a roof over your head and food on your, in your bellies, and plus afford you the other opportunities, to play sports and take music lessons and do all the things that you wanted to do. And that became my number one priority, and still is. Even though you're both over 21 now, it's still my job to make sure you finish your educations, and then you're on your own. I don't know if there's anything I would do differently. I wished it could have been a friendlier divorce. You could have, your dad and I could have kept open communication, but he chose not to have that happen that way. Aside from that, I think I took good care of you guys. I think I did a good job. I'm proud of my daughters. They're healthy, they're respectful, they're getting educations, and who can really ask for more than that?